Welcome, this is Cheating Tales Stories. Tell me where you're watching from. Have you ever felt like your whole world changed while you weren't looking? What would you do if someone you trusted replaced you that easily? Tell me in the comments below. Call me broken, bitter, or naive, but this is what really happened. After the explosion, I remember waking up in the VA hospital, staring at the ceiling, trying to convince myself it wasn't real. But the phantom pain in my missing leg told me otherwise. I was 28, a combat engineer, third tour overseas. 1 second we were clearing a road outside Kandahar. The next, just fire, blood, and silence. My fiancée, Alira, had written me every week. She was the reason I kept going. We'd planned to marry once I was back, nothing big, just a small ceremony, backyard style. She promised she'd wait. Always said, whatever comes back, I'll love him just the same. I believed her. Recovery was brutal. Physically, mentally, everything. I had to learn how to walk with a prosthetic. It took months, but through all of it, what kept me pushing was the idea of going home to her. And to my brother, Caleb. Caleb and I were never best friends growing up. He was 2 years younger, a bit of a golden boy. Smooth talker, always knew how to charm a room. But he was still my brother. He stayed back home in Michigan. Managed our parents' hardware store after Dad passed. He'd check in once in a while. Mostly updates on Mom's health and the business. He and Alira had been keeping things going while I was gone handling bills. Checking on Mom, organizing a welcome home gathering. At least, that's what I was told. When I finally got home, the house felt unfamiliar. Mom was emotional. Caleb picked me up from the airport, helped with my bags, asked polite questions. Alira wasn't there. He said she was handling some things for the house. I didn't think much of it at the time. I figured maybe it was too emotional for her. The next few days were awkward. Alira visited, but barely touched me. No kiss, no intimacy. She acted like I was fragile glass. She kept saying things like, "You've changed," or "I don't want to rush you into anything." At first, I thought she was just overwhelmed. Maybe she was adjusting too. But then I noticed little things: her phone always on silent, the way Caleb avoided looking me in the eye, the sudden hush when I walked into a room. One evening, I found Caleb's hoodie on the back of her chair in the guest house she was staying in. Then came the night I caught them whispering in the garage. I stood behind the door, heart racing, hearing her say, "He can't handle another blow, Caleb. Not right now." He replied, "Then when? We can't hide forever." That was the moment everything started unraveling. I confronted Alira the next morning. She didn't deny it. Her eyes welled up and she said, "I didn't plan this. It just happened. You were gone, and he was there." She said Caleb helped her through the loneliness, and that their bond just grew. I asked her if she ever loved me. She looked at the floor and whispered, "I did, but I was scared." And Caleb made me feel like I wasn't alone anymore. I wanted to scream, to throw something, but I just stood there, feeling like I was bleeding out again, this time in slow motion. Caleb came over later that day. He didn't apologize. He said, "Look, I didn't mean to fall for her, but you were gone for a year. We didn't know if you were even coming back in one piece." He had the audacity to act like this was some kind of logical transition, like I should understand. I asked him if he'd ever once thought about what it would feel like to come home from war and lose both a leg and the love of your life. He didn't answer. They tried to be respectful. They waited a few weeks before making it public. She moved in with him. My mom was furious. She barely spoke to either of them. Friends took sides. Some told me to forgive and move on. Others offered to take care of it in ways I won't put here. But I didn't want revenge. I wanted clarity. Why did the people I trusted most decide I was disposable? A few weeks later, I found out they'd been seeing each other for months long before the explosion. They thought they were subtle, but Alira had left her email open on an old laptop she returned to me. I read messages, going back half a year, romantic, secretive, plans made for the future while I was across the ocean dodging death. They weren't just an accident, they were a choice. I spiraled for a while, got back into therapy, switched VA clinics, started writing again, something I hadn't done since high school. Journaling helped. So did the veterans group in town. One guy told me, "You didn't lose her. You found out who she really was." It stuck with me. I realized I hadn't come back weaker, I came back clearer. I started rebuilding my life without them. New city, new friends, prosthetic upgrades, a service dog named Banner who became my shadow. I still think about her sometimes, not with longing, but with disbelief. The woman I thought I'd spend my life with stood at my bedside in the hospital, kissed my forehead, and said, "You're still the same man to me." She lied, but that doesn't mean I stopped living. Now, I help others who've been through similar betrayal, veterans, amputees, trauma survivors. I tell them healing isn't about pretending it didn't happen. It's about choosing not to carry their weight anymore. As for Alira and Caleb, they got married 6 months later, but I wasn't there. I was hiking a trail in Colorado, slow, steady, one step at a time, on my new leg, with Banner by my side, and a heart that finally stopped looking back. If this story moved you, hit subscribe and stay with us for more emotional true life stories like this. You're not alone.